All right. Okay. Now our login is complete. Okay. So now you understand how you can make the login function. When you set up everything, it becomes very convenient and easy to use. So let's close all of these again. Now, when the user comes to login, about text. When the user comes to login, they might have forgot the password, right? So we also should able to use the functionality, have the functionality to reset their password. It is common convenient. And okay, this is our forgot password page. Let's go to our page, sources, pages, authentication, and forget password. Okay, so inside our forget password, let's understand the state first. We are setting up a set active state and our set email state. That means for forget password, we have two separate pages, right? Our forget password page where user will enter their OTP, and then we have our OTP page where the user will actually enter the OTP and their new password, right? So to manage these two pages, I am setting up a two states, that the set active state and the email state, which will store the email. And we have a use effect function. What is this use effect function doing? I will show you in a moment. But initially, we are setting the set active to OTP. So if the state is OTP equals to OTP, we are rendering our forget pass form. The forget pass form is, of course, this form. Wait. Am I saying it right? Yeah, okay. So initially we will get our forget pass form. I'm going to show you why I am setting up the query and everything. So after that, if I come to our forget pass form, you will again see the antigen form. As I said earlier, it is going to be repetitive work. If you set up the first initial setup is done, all of this will become very easily to you. And for example, I am again setting the name to, it is the wrong name, wrong convention. I should name it forgot password. All right. We have our usual unfinished function, unfinished failed function, and we have two input fields, form.email, one input field, our email field, and the initial value is email that we are setting up in our store from here. Okay. All right. So the rules are, the email is, it has to be an email. That means the user can just enter any string, but it is not email, right? So we have to also handle that make sure that it is a email. And required is true. Of course, we will need the email, a valid email, if we want to reset the password of the user. And then we have our input field with the placeholder email address and everything. And then we have a function called get OTP. And when clicking on get OTP, this function is called. So, okay, so let's enter, did I, sorry, my bad. I closed the temporary, closed the website where I got the temporary email from. No worries, let's use my email. .com. Okay. Okay, I'm not showing you my Gmail inbox, but okay, let's click on get OTP. Okay, the code has been sent to your email, right? Okay, so now I'm going to check my email. Okay, so I got the code in my email. So this is the code I got, and after that I have to enter my password and confirm password. So let's explore what this OTP. Click on OTP. If after clicking on OTP, what this onFinish function did, it made an API call again with our Axios instance, that is user.forgetPassword with the values, and in this case the value is the email. And then we get the response, and inside our response.data we get is OTP sent, our success, and also our token. And sorry, we won't get the token from this API actually. All right. So is OTP is sent. I'm saying that success, a code has been sent to your email. I'm setting the loading to false, and what I'm using is router, and I'm calling this use router hook from next router. So with this router, you can navigate between your routes. So I'm saying now router.push, and I'm sending it to the same route, but inside it, I am adding two queries. First one is our step and the email. Okay, why am I doing that? Why am I setting up queries? So for example, I have already sent an OTP to the user from the backend, right? So let's say the user uh, comes to this website and for some reason they decide to reload. Okay. Okay. So if I didn't set up any queries from here, when I reload, my stores states will be reset and the user will come back to the forgot password page, right? So for example, if I remove all of this, let me copy it first. Okay. If I reload, simply reload, the user reloads, they will come to the forget password form. But they already got email from the backend. So this is very inconvenient for the user, right? So that's why I am setting up in the query. Okay. Now in our main page, we can inside our use effect, we can check if the router dot we have the router dot query dot step. That means this step, and then we can set the active to our step, whichever step we are in. And if we do not have a rel, we want to set up the default state. That means our OTP form. We want to render our OTP, enter email page first. And if the router has email, we are setting the email from our router to email. So no matter, doesn't matter how many times the user reload, they will be redirected to the same page. So let's enter. Okay, not this. Now just enter the OTP code and we want to set up a new password, like, okay. So let's go in reverse 098765. Okay, so I'm going to make a mistake here, 098764. As you can see, it gives us an error that the new password that you entered do not match. So, but I did not handle anything in our forget password form. You can see here. So that's why I'm using undesign form. You can handle your undesign can handle your verifications and everything. Okay, let's go to our reset form. As you can see inside our form, our first item is our password. That means the OTP we are getting. Our second input field is the, okay, our second input field, what is it? Should be the password, right? Yeah, our second input field is the password, and we are setting up a rule that is the password is required. It can be minimum of 6 character, and you cannot add white space after or inside or after the password. And then we also have another one named confirm, and we are setting up dependencies for this input field. That means this input field is going to be dependent on our password input field. So you have to enter the name correctly. Make sure you have the same name here. The input field we want this input field to depend on. Make sure they have the same name in the name and dependencies array. And then inside our rules, and design actually provides us with, we can actually set up a function or call a callback function, and we can say get field values, and inside that we are returning a function with validator. So of course, you wouldn't know this. I didn't know this when I was first implemented it. You have to go back to their API documentation to understand this. It is okay to not understand when using a new library. You just have to uh, search their documentation. So let's say form. Okay. Why is it taking so long? All right. So let's scroll. Hmm. Okay, so here you can see they have the password and confirm password pages, right? So if we expand the code, let's go to JavaScript and let's search for where is the form. This is where the form starts. We have email and this is the password, right? So in the confirm password, they are sending up dependencies like we did in the password, and inside the rules you can say they are setting up that the required is true and you have to confirm your password, and you can get it from their documentation. Okay, you do not have to understand everything at the first. You can just use it, and along with using it multiple times you will understand what the functions are doing. So of course always read their documentation. So as you can see, we can get a callback function, make a function, and inside that we are making another callback function, that is the validator function. And the validator function has the value that is we are entering in our confirm password inputs. That means we are whatever we are entering here, the values has access to this validator. So you can copy the syntax from their documentation, and after that we have got the value. We can say that if value or money, I mean if there is no value, and if get field value that we are getting from the callback function, get field value with password, name password, that means this function will get the value of this input field. Okay, pass, and they will match the value, and if the value doesn't match, it will return a promise dot result. Okay, sorry, if the value matches, it will resolve the promise, and we will be able to continue with our form. And if we get an error, it will return the promise, reject the promise with a error that the new password that you entered do not match. Okay, so that's what's happening here. The password doesn't match. Okay, so let's enter it again, 098765. The same thing here, 098765. Okay, now that our password match, we can just click on reset password. Okay, let us explore the function. What will happen if we click on reset password? Okay, so this is our reset password button, right? So when we click on it, our onFinish function will be called. So let's go to our onFinish function. We are setting the state to is loading state to true, and we are making another API call with our Axios instance, that user dot reset password. Now this time we are sending the email, our OTP. This email you can get it from the router, right? You have set it up already in the router. You can get it from the router. Email, we are sending our OTP and our new password. Okay, so then we are making API call. Then we get the response, and with our response, if the response is successful, we are saying that's okay. So, okay, successful, congratulations, your password was changed successfully. Now please go back to the login form and enter your new credentials and log in. All right. Okay, so let's see it in action. So if I click on reset password, okay, the OTP was invalid. All right, let's see what I did wrong. Okay, I got the OTP. Okay, now click on it again. Okay, the password has changed successfully, and I am redirected to our login page. Now that I have entered with changed my password, let's try with my previous password. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's try it with our previous password. If I try to log in, okay. Uh, okay, we have our invalid credential as error, and now let's enter the new password, 098765. Okay, okay, now you can see we are successfully logged in, and our verification function is run, and we are verified. Our token is set up as cookie. We are authenticated, and we can see the user menu drawer. I'm going to add all the functionalities and routes, user specific routes here in our following crash courses. Okay. Okay, so now we have covered almost all the authentication related user stories. We have covered our registration functionality. We have covered our login functionality. We have also covered how the user password reset functionality. And we also know how you can verify the user when each time they come to your website, and how you can secure your web application with authentication token, how you can secure your APIs. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, we have allowed the user to create an account with their credentials, so right, like their email and password. So we also want to give the user more functionalities, or we also want the user to be able to log in with simply. We want to make the login process or the sign up process as easy as possible, because it is a e-commerce site and the login is not mandatory unless the user tries to order something. And you will also see that many of the e-commerce project, you do not even have to log in. You can just enter their address, enter your address and order. But for our project, as we are going to provide some other functionalities for logged in users, we are prompting the user to log in before making an order. So we also want to implement the Google login, right? Okay, so to understand Google login, let's go back to our slide again.